not a good idea. Everything is go up is sky high.
I'm pro congestion pricing. I am. I think it's time.
Right now at noon, a range of reactions to the pause on New York City's congestion pricing. Sources telling CBS 2 the plan is now on hold indefinitely. And we're learning more about what went into this major changes weeks before the rollout scheduled for June 30th, but not now. Good afternoon. I'm Chris Raggi, now on CBS 2 and streaming on CBS News New York. Let's begin with that breaking news, a possible pivot in the congestion pricing plan in New York City. Sources tell CBS New York that after a push from Governor Hochul, the plan is delayed indefinitely. And we just heard from the governor. Here's what she had to say.
After careful consideration, I have come to the difficult decision that implementing the planned congestion pricing system risks too many unintended consequences for New Yorkers at this time. For that reason, I have directed the MTA to indefinitely pause the program.
Joining us now with the very latest on this, CBS 2's political reporter Marsha Kramer. Your thoughts on hearing this news? This is quite the pivot.
Well, Chris, listen, the governor's decision to try to stop the countdown clock with just 25 days to go before drivers were supposed to pay tolls has sent shockwaves throughout the metropolitan area. Her decision is based on two things: the fragile economy and politics. And it's unclear which is most important to her. What is clear is that Mayor Adams supports her decision to hit the pause button.
I'm all for it. We have to get it right. This is a major shift in our city, and it must be done correctly.
Mayor Adams endorsing Governor Hochul's desire to delay the start of congestion pricing, saying he has talked to her about it in recent days, and he shares her concerns. Sources telling CBS 2 the governor wants to put the controversial program on hold because she, quote, is worried about the fragile economic recovery of Midtown and the fact that inflation remains high. Mayor Adams agrees.
We have to make sure that it's not a dual burden on everyday New Yorkers. We have to make sure that it's not going to impact our recovery.
Sources also tell CBS 2 that another reason to kick the can down the road is the concern reportedly raised by House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries that charging tolls to enter Manhattan Central Business District would make it more difficult for Democrats to win back control of Congress. Congestion pricing is wildly unpopular on Long Island and in upstate, where Democrats are hoping to unseat as many as 5 freshman Republicans. It also gets a thumbs down statewide. 63% of New Yorkers statewide opposed the plan in an April Siena poll. Just 25% supported it. Riders groups were furious. Riders Alliance Executive Director Betsy Plum said, quote, New York City public transit riders gave Governor Hochul her margin of victory in the 2022 election. Stopping congestion pricing before it even starts would be an outrageous betrayal of our trust. But one person who is probably taking a victory lap is former Governor Andrew Cuomo, who called for a halt several months ago, even though he was the one who signed congestion pricing into law in 2019.
We have to take a beat and understand what the effect will be today. Understand the consequences of your actions today and make sure you do no harm, right? First rule. Do no harm, and this may do harm.
Now, Governor Hochul is also said to be considering an alternative way to raise money for the MTA, possibly a tax on New York City businesses. But there are many lingering questions. First of all, would Albany lawmakers support a new business tax? And if congestion pricing isn't implemented, what about the approximately $500 million already spent to put up license plate readers around the city? Chris, lots
of questions, and I'm sure they'll be answered as the day moves on. We'll look forward to more of your reporting as the day goes on, and later tonight at 5 and 6 o'clock. Marsha, thank you very much. Well, happening right now, a rally outside Governor Hochul's office in Midtown. Proponents of congestion pricing say they are furious that it's delayed indefinitely. CBS 2's Lisa Rosner there live for us now with more on what's being said. Lisa?
Well, Chris, behind me we have a lot of people gathered from the Riders Alliance. We see someone from the Office of the Public Advocate as well as environmental groups. They're about to hold a rally calling this move by the governor a scheme. They say it's a scheme to defund public transit, as money from the plan would have gone to improving the subway system. They say the other benefits are imperative too, like faster bus service and cleaner air below 60th Street. The groups are hoping the governor hears them out and and that congestion pricing does still move forward as it was originally planned on June 30th. Earlier today, we also spoke with people who are happy about the delay.
We want to demonstrate to the governor that there's still an outpouring support for congestion pricing, which passed in the state legislature in 2019, and that we can come forward, tell her that we still support it, we'd still like it to go forward, and it's the best course of action policy-wise.
$15 every car come to city, that's ridiculous. I don't know whose idea. It's not good idea. At this point, everything is go up is sky high.
And we're waiting right now to hear from public officials who are against this delay. Earlier, the MTA, just this morning, was supposed to have a webinar educating people about congestion pricing. They canceled that at the last minute. Right now, the MTA is telling us no comment. We're live in Midtown. Lisa Rosner, CBS 2 News.
All right, Lisa, thank you very much. Well, joining us now over Zoom to discuss the delay is Nassau County Executive Bruce Blakeman. Mr. Executive, thank you for taking a few moments.
Thank you.
Let me get your first reaction to this news that there was a pause on congestion pricing.
Well, congestion pricing has always been a bad idea for both commuters and business people. It really put a tax on people who commuted to the city. It put a tax on firefighters, police officers, nurses. And it was just a bad decision on the part of our government and the MTA board. And I'm very proud that the only member of the MTA board was the Nassau County representative who voted against congestion pricing. So I'm happy that the governor is taking a pause on this idea, which is a bad idea, congestion pricing. And I'm just hoping that she doesn't try to supplement or replace congestion pricing with a new tax on people, because here in New York State, we're already overtaxed in so many areas. It's a very expensive place to live. We should make it more affordable.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to ask you, because that you just answered my next question when she talks about taxing small businesses, whatnot. Obviously, Long Island are still reeling from salt taxes not being available. These are a lot of taxes, a lot of money that used to be coming in that is now going out. What would your constituents say to that? No congestion pricing, but yeah, you might get hit. Some of the small businesses might get hit with an extra tax.
Well, they would be very upset with that. I think what the governor should do is take the $2.4 billion that she has in her budget for migrants, people who have been here for 15 minutes, and spend it on infrastructure, spend it on transportation, spend it on hospitals, spend it on schools. That's what I think the money should be used for. In addition, Congress passed a $1 trillion infrastructure bill. We in Nassau County, and I think in New York City, they can say the same thing. We've gotten virtually nothing from that $1 trillion. So why don't we take that $1 trillion, use it for the MTA, use it for the Long Island Railroad, use it for the subway system and the bus system, and make it more efficient, more affordable for people to commute around the metropolitan area.
With that being said, Long Island Railroad riders were hoping that this plan, congestion pricing, would help some service there. What's your message to them now that that money will probably be diverted if this does not happen at any time soon?
Well, I think the state needs to prioritize where they want to spend the money. And as I said, $2.4 billion for migrants is a bad idea. We need to spend it on our residents. The Long Island Railroad could use the money. Our hospitals, our schools could use the money. I think that the state has to rearrange their priorities and put the people first who live here.
Can I just ask you one political question here? Because we just had Marsha Kramer, who was seated next to me a few moments ago. She's wondering what your thoughts are on the governor potentially using this ploy to help Democrats take back the House, what this does for Republicans on Long Island, with this being something that obviously people, your constituents, were dead set against.
Oh, I would be shocked if politics were involved in this process. I'm being facetious.
I know.
Of course, Hakeem Jeffries and Mayor Adams and Governor Hochul got together and talked about it because it's so unpopular. And look, people make mistakes. I'm glad they're going to correct the mistake. I just hope they don't make a bigger mistake by putting an additional tax on the people in the metropolitan area who are now, they're taxed up to their neck and can't take anymore.
All right. County Executive Bruce Blakeman, thank you very much. We appreciate you taking a few moments. Be sure to stay with us on the air and on our streaming channel, CBS News New York, for continuing coverage on congestion pricing. Coming up in just a few moments, our transportation reporter Elijah Westbrook will join us with more on the impact of this decision. You can also find the very latest updates anytime, anywhere on the free CBS News app.